What's up everybody, it's Matt from Peter Glenn, and in this video we're going to talk to you about what you should do your first day on a brand new snowboard. Let's check this out. All right, super fun day. You just got your brand new snowboard and you're getting ready to go out and ride it for the first time. And it might be a little different than your old board. You might actually have a board that has a different flex. It might have a different bend to it. Maybe you just got a second board and it's a completely new shape. There's definitely some things that you should do on that first day before you go gung-ho and go crazy on that thing. So obviously you want to mount your bindings up, and a good thing to do is before you actually mount your bindings is get out a tape measure and measure everything. Measure your stance, measure the angles, make sure that you can get everything matched up as close as you can from your old board to your new board. Unless you're switching styles, then you might want to tweak a little bit. If you are going from, let's say, a park board to more of a free ride board, you might want to get a little more aggressive with your angles, or you also might want to set it back a little bit. But if you are going from just like a standard all mountain to an all mountain, park to park, free ride to free ride, you basically want to keep that stance as close to the same because that's what you feel most comfortable with. And if you're not sure exactly how to measure your stance and get all that stuff set, we'll leave a link down in the description to our video about getting your stance set up, just to give you a few refreshers that you might not have remembered from the first day you had your old board. So right from there, if you did move your bindings over, then you're ready to go. If you did get new bindings, definitely get those things again mounted up as close to the old one or with the modifications that are going to be needed for that style of riding. But then you're going to need to make sure that you get your straps adjusted, make sure that everything fits your boots properly. Another link we'll leave down below if you're not sure about how to get that set right. But once you get that board set up, then you're pretty much ready to ride. So once you get out to the hill, the main thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get used to the board and see how it feels. Even if you got a new version of an old board, the technology in snowboards moves so fast that it's not going to ride exactly the same. They're constantly coming out with newer materials to make the board snappier and livelier, make them smoother feeling in certain areas, and also they might have different side cuts and different shapes that can ride a little different than what you've been riding in the past. Especially if you go into a board that has a different bend. If you go from, let's say, a board that has this one, which is camber to flat, and you go to a board that maybe is rocker to camber, those boards are going to feel a little bit different, and you're going to want to ride them a little bit different too. So the first thing I always say is go out and just take some nice easy runs where you're actually sliding your turns, not carving on it. You're going to want to see how the board feels. You're going to shift your weight around a little bit on the board, but again, just take some runs where you're actually stopping and you are sliding those turns, and then maybe switch your stance around a little bit just to kind of get used to how the board feels underneath your feet and how it reacts on a basic level. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and get into some carves. So if you're a little bit more the intermediate to advanced rider and your sliding turns have actually turned into carves, you're going to want to take a few carves. And don't, again, go crazy fast and don't lay into them really hard. Just take a nice easy carve on your heel side edge and then straighten out. Gain a little bit of speed, take an easy carve on your toe side edge. And then basically go back and forth and gradually start linking those carves up a little bit more, going a little bit faster, and really notice how that board feels in and out of the turns, but more importantly, notice how it feels in the carve. When you do lay on it, how hard is it carving? Is it cranking super hard? Is it going nice and easy? But again, once you work your way up and you start linking those carves and going a little bit harder, this can really all happen in one run. And then from there, switch your stance around. If you know how to ride switch, get a few turns in, just notice how the board feels when you are riding switch. Especially if you have a directional board, you can ride any board switch, but those directional boards can feel very different depending on if they have taper or not, where the nose of the board is wider than the tail, or whether the length of the nose and the length of the tail, and depending on where your bindings are set. But it can definitely feel very different when you are riding switch. And then from there, pop the board off the snow a few times, do a few ollies, and then do a few, off of some jumps, some little side hits, and really get used to how the board feels when you flex it and you release it. Boards are going to feel a little bit different. Obviously, they're going to pop and they're going to push you in and out of your turns, but obviously they're going to pop when you send them off jumps. And depending on the kind of jumps that you pop off of too, they can feel a little bit different. So again, getting used to how that board gets you up into the air off of little different size jumps, even some side hits where maybe you're carving a little bit, but really get used to how that board feels coming off the snow and back to the snow. So really, this isn't going to take a long time. This could literally take you 2, maybe 3 runs, and it can actually make a big difference when you are riding to actually feel how the board is gonna feel. You might go from one board that has a, kind of a standard side cut where it's nice and easy in your carves, and your new board might have a little bit deeper side cut than you're used to. And if you go to take an easy turn, that thing could link up and take a nice hard carve without you expecting it and without you leaning really, really hard. Likewise, when you pop it off of a jump, you might have a little more carbon in the nose and tail, or maybe it's a board that has rocker in the middle and a lot of camber in the nose and tail, and that's gonna give you a lot of spring. So when you go to pop it off the snow, it might actually send you a little bit more than you're expecting. So get used to those little things. Start slow. Again, take 2-3 runs. Just get used to how that board feels. And then from there, you can just start riding it like it's your normal board. So hopefully this helps out a little bit. Obviously that day one is a super fun day, and it's super, super tempting to just go out and start charging and doing everything that you usually do on your old board on your new board. But it can make a big, big difference when you actually learn and feel how that new board feels compared to your old board, so it doesn't throw you for a loop. But if you got any questions beyond anything that we talked about in the video, definitely leave some comments down below. We are on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we can get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure it's going to fit you, it's going to fit your riding style, and you're going to be able to use it efficiently as well. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely get that notification bell on too, so you can find out when every single video drops. Grab yourself a new board, maybe some new bindings, boots, or whatever gear you need from peterglenn.com, and get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.